You also know on Twitter, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If you want to watch my live streams every single day, live stream and live teach the market every single day in my private Discord, you can click the WAP link in the description. And I also do have a Discord for free, and there's a free chat, obviously, if you want to check that out. Lastly, Apex extended their 50% off sale. So if you want to have an Apex account, just click the link in the description, the Apex link, click Save 50, and you'll get an account for 50% off if you want to practice. All right, let's get started with the video. So I'm going to be going over, like, some people ask me, like, what fair value gaps do I ignore, like, after I use them, okay? And there's no right answer to this, okay? I'm going to be honest. Okay, there's like fair value gaps where we'll invalidate them, and I'll be like, okay, this wasn't respected, and I'll kind of not worry about them. Okay, so for example, right here, okay, we see a fair value gap that we kind of failed, bounce off of, violate it, failed as an inversion at this time, and then we broke back above it. Okay, so just a general example, when you see something like this happen where we close below it, close back above it, right, it's not really respected, I automatically just delete from my chart and I wait for a new fair value gap. Okay, and in this case, the new fair value gap might be right here. So see how in this one, see how in this leg we get like a fresh leg with a new fair value gap after we disrespect these. So that's when I'm using a new one, because if we go in the replay mode and I'm using this fair value gap, I'm like, oh, new bearish fair value gap's created, okay, right, and I see it disrespected, and maybe I take a loss here. Okay, well, I'm now deleting this off my chart, okay, because it lines up with this one, okay, and I'm now deleting this off my chart because it was disrespected like twice. And now I'm just going to really pay attention to this one, and maybe, okay, if this is broken under, I think we're going to go to these relative equal lows. So I always look for like the new freshest ones, okay, if these are not respected. Okay, now I'm going to go to an example where I do not look for a fresh one because we have not used an old one. Okay, and it was from the 15-minute the other day. Okay, so it was right here. Okay, so see how right here we had an internal low here in the 15-minute. Okay, and see how we closed under but did not hit the low in this wick. Okay, then we wick back up, and then then we go to that low. Okay, see how in this one, like, yeah, this is way over to the left side of the curve, and we've already gotten a new fair value gap up here. But see how this was used to the upside and it was respected? Okay, so if it was respected on the other side, well, why would we not respect it on the opposite side? So, like, if it's a situation like this, then I'll use it. Okay, now let's say the candle's like right here. Okay, let's say the candle closed below it. Okay, it's a red candle, we closed below, and then we went back up, and then we inversed it later. I probably would not use it as an inverse at that point because, one, it wasn't really respected over here, and two, it was on the buy side of the curve. What makes me think, oh, if it wasn't respected on the buy side of the curve, what makes me think it's going to be respected on the sell side? So generally, I'm looking for the fair value gaps that are respected on the buy side of the curve or not used at all, and then I'll use them for an inverse. Okay, so there's two ways how I'll use this as an inverse. One, if it's respected nicely, and this one is. Or two, if, let's say, we didn't even wick here at all. Okay, let's say this wick and all this was totally gone. Okay, so let me just draw a gray box over this. Okay, so let's say all this wasn't even here. Okay, let's say there's nothing in here. Then yeah, I'm still going to use this, right? I'm still going to use this fair value gap because it wasn't respected or disrespected on the left side of the curve, right? It wasn't respected or disrespected. So that means if we violate this, it has like a fresh chance to be respected as an inverse. Okay, but the only way I'll delete this fair value gap off my screen is if we kind of close under and then close back above and then go up and then go back down again. Because this closing back under and us bouncing still tells me that this is not a algorithmic, like their algorithms weren't respecting this. This tells me this is not a clean fair value gap you can use in any situation. Okay, so like right here, right? The only reason why I'm still paying attention to a fair value gap, even though it's like a while later over here, the only reason why I'm still paying attention to this is because this wick respected it, okay? This wick respected it. So that tells me this is a solid fair value gap. So let's see how the bodies respect it again when we get back over here. Okay, but let's say the candle right here, let's say we close back way up here, okay, and then we went down. So let's say we got a green close like this, and then we went back down again. Do you really think I'm trying to use it again when I wasn't even respected in the first place? No, I'm not, okay? So that's kind of what I do, okay? Same thing with like this. This one, there's no respection of it here because we never even wicked into it. And this is our first time going into it. And if we haven't gone into the fair value gap yet, and we haven't hit some giant low or something like that, okay, I'll just draw this out and see how it's respected. Now this one I wouldn't have shorted because we took sell side. This one I would have been like, okay, well this wasn't used on the sell side of the curve. It wasn't respected to the downside. I know this is probably going to be a solid fair value gap if we inverse it. So I'm going to draw it, see how we react off it, and that's going to give me the bias because it wasn't used before. Okay, and because it wasn't used before, I'm not ignoring this. I'm totally going to use it. It wasn't used before. I want to see what happens. Okay. So yeah. Okay, same thing with like right here. See how like the candles close above it, totally disrespect it, and then go back down again. When I see something like this, that fair value gap's done. It wasn't respected. It's not a major influence to me. I'm deleting that fair value gap right away because that doesn't really tell me anything. Okay, but as long as it's respected, I keep it in the chart. Okay, or like in this example, this was respected, so maybe I'd keep this in my chart because I'm thinking, okay, the next time we come here, this was respected at the downside, so what's going to be stopping it from being respected to the upside if it's going to be used as an inverse? So I'll kind of keep that on my chart and monitor it the next time we come back to it. Versus this one, okay, I'm not going to leave this fair value gap on my chart when we run my way over here because it wasn't even respected over here. Why would it be respected over here, right? So it really has to do on if it was respected over here or not, okay? And if it wasn't filled at all, like if it wasn't respected or disrespected and nothing happened to it, I'll just keep it on my screen until it's disrespected or until we use it, okay? But every fair value gap that gets respected and then disrespected immediately, that has no influence on my trading. I delete those right away because that tells me it's not really a major factor in the market. Okay, so that's kind of what I do. Like even this one right here. All right, this one you just see totally get disrespected. Okay, and then you see a bearish one get disrespected, telling me, okay, well we disrespected this, but now we have a bullish inverse. So what is that supposed to tell me? Well, that tells me nothing because this is bearish, closing below this, and this is bullish, closing above this. So I'm just taking no trade in this situation, and I'm waiting for one of these to eventually get broken. And this is the one that gets broken. So this tells me, okay, well, this wasn't respected, even though the bias is bullish. I'm now not using this on the left side of my chart. I'm not going to use it, and it's not really respected that greatly, even when we use it anyways. But like, when it's disrespected this much and we still bounce later, like I always say, well, if the bias is bullish, we should bounce off this in the first place. But we went under it, then back above it. So that's when I don't really care about this fair value gap anymore, okay? Yeah. Okay, so that's what I generally... Oh, yeah, and this one. I just want to go over this one real quick. This one, respected to the downside, respected to the downside, respected to the downside. Now we broke above it. I'm just going to draw it, mark it, see if we get a lower time frame set up. I see it's now disrespected. Okay, now I'm completely done with this fair value gap because it was respected on this side, but now it's not being respected as inverse. So now it has no major influence. Now I'm looking for the newest fresh fair value gap to be made because this one's too old and it's not being respected anymore. Okay, so that's generally what I do. Okay, I know it can be a little complicated, but it's going to take screen time to be like, you're going to figure out, okay, I'm going to delete this fair value gap. It's not being respected or whatever it may be. Okay, so that's how I kind of pick and choose. I'm gonna make like some sort of flashcard or some sort of study on Twitter about this eventually, but this is just, I'll put it in a video. You know, so yeah, okay, hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Hopefully this helped you a little bit, because I know a lot of people want to cleanse up their chart because they have too many fair value gaps sitting there. But really the main thing is, once it starts getting disrespected to the opposite side or either side at all, just delete it, because that means it's probably not having influence, and that just means body closes above and below and we just don't respect it at all. Okay, so that's kind of what I do for what fair value gaps I ignore. Hopefully this helped, and let me know if you have any questions. Just ask me on Discord, and other than that, peace out.